Spoilers for WandaVision. Disney and Marvel Studios have officially proven that the cinematic superhero-sized opera that is the MCU can fit into a week-to-week televised package. WandaVision not only brought back the superhero fever we've all lacked the past year, but also that delicious water cooler conversation we so desperately thirst over. Yes, the conclusion to the series may not have brought to life your favorite theory on Reddit, but it certainly delivered on telling a story that attempts to personify grief in a way only superhero stories can. It seems there is no season 2 for WandaVision on the horizon, but there is certainly a future for our heroes, or perhaps villains? So for lack of a better term, let's speculate on what's next for WandaVision. What is Wanda's future in the MCU going to look like? Where the finale leaves off, we see Wanda living in seclusion, in a cabin covered in ruins. Before fading to black, it is revealed that Wanda is in fact astral projecting, and using the projection to educate herself from one of the most evil-looking books in the MCU, The Darkhold. Cinematically, the scene is evoking two distinct scenes from its filmography. Thanos at the end of Infinity War, resting in a cabin on a planet that presumably has plenty of resources for him to live out his purple life as a farmer or whatever, and Doctor Strange, who also lets his body chill while his projection attempts to learn as much magic as it can. I wish I could multitask like that. So why is this post-credits scene evoking these two distinct characters? By showing Wanda in a similar setting to Thanos, this addresses the elephant in the cinematic universe. Wanda is not the hero of WandaVision. Sure, she was at times being manipulated by Agatha during her time in the grief-induced hex, but even as she learned just how awful it was to be under her spell, she tried to justify her actions. The citizens of Westview pulled no punches in letting Wanda know the impact her grief had on their psyches. If things didn't come to a head with Agatha, then Wanda probably would have continued to keep the citizens of Westview under her spell, and that's not very heroic behavior. There is a bit of dramatic irony here. Wanda hates Thanos, probably more than she hated anyone. Yet here we are, seeing what grief can do to a hero. Seeing a hero try to quote-unquote protect the people by taking away their choice and free will. Thanos took away half the world's population to preserve what resources the universe had left. Wanda's reasoning is far more selfish than selfless. The key difference between the Thanos scene and this one is Thanos went into seclusion to relax after a long day's work of snapping and killing. Wanda, on the other hand, her work is only beginning. Wanda is getting into some nasty dark magic, and made a bit of a stink by creating an alternate reality in Westview. Not only did this put her on S.W.O.R.D's radar, but surely on the radar of the Avenger, who is in charge of keeping the fabric of reality safe. Agatha reveals there is a whole chapter about the Scarlet Witch in the Darkhold, and that her powers exceed that of the Sorcerer Supreme, aka Doctor Strange. The book also foretells that it is the destiny of the Scarlet Witch to destroy the world. It seems as destined for the Scarlet Witch to put the world in peril as much as it seems destined to see her face off with Doctor Strange. Will Strange have empathy for the woman who seems to have lost everything before losing even more? Or will he just see her as a multi-dimensional threat? Will Wanda take control of the Scarlet Witch's destiny, attempting to defy fate and not destroy the world as the prophecy states? For a being that can bend reality, the term destruction gets a little harder to define. Will there be a common enemy for our magical heroes to unite against? Well, we'll find out in a year or so. Wanda is confirmed to be in the second Doctor Strange film, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And if her newest piece of reading material is a book from the same dimension as Dormammu, Strange is most definitely going to want to put the kibosh on that. But what is Wanda trying to learn from the Darkhold? Probably some spooky spells, more runes like the one on her new cabin, and a way to bring her two sons, Billy and Tommy, back from wherever they are. Nothing is confirmed as to where Billy and Tommy went after Wanda sucked the hex back into her grief-stricken heart. They aren't born of flesh and blood, or even synthezoid and blood. I'm not really sure what they're made out of. It is a bit of a Vision-esque philosophy exercise when trying to figure out just where Billy and Tommy ended up. We hear their voices calling out for help as Wanda's projection reads from the Darkhold. Is this her grief-stricken mind haunting her with the cries of her sons, or is this a call for help from another universe? In the comics, it's revealed that Billy and Tommy are fragments of Mephisto's soul, aka Demon Spawn. But despite fans thinking Mephisto was behind every corner of WandaVision, the villain has yet to make his cinematic universe debut. We could also assume Wanda's dark studies is to find a way to bring her sons back to reality, or at least this reality. The pieces are falling into place for a Young Avengers television show, which would include Billy and Tommy's super and older aliases, Wiccan and Speed. So through some means, either with the help of Doctor Strange or against him, we can safely assume that Billy and Tommy will be finding their way back into the MCU. Vision's arc in WandaVision, and the entire MCU, seems like a Philip K. Dick or Isaac Asimov fever dream. The artificial intelligence turned robot, turned dead, turned love apparition somehow finds time to bring us philosophy and tears in between his many on-screen deaths. With Wanda's Vision fading away like the loving memory he is, what is next for the synthezoid of Theseus? The white Vision we meet at the end of the series now has his memories reawakened, but he remains a ghost, a shade of Vision, devoid of the soul that makes Vision the lovable scamp that just can't help but die in every other Marvel property he's in. It's possible we'll see White Vision on a quest to restore his humanity, not unlike in the comics. There, Vision disguises himself as Victor Shade and attempts to relearn what it means to be human. He also gets to learn what it's like to have a really cool name. I mean, come on, Victor Shade, that's badass. But where would we see White Vision's quest for his soul? It seems too complicated of a story to smush into the multiverse of madness. Perhaps instead of a WandaVision Season 2, we'll see a show centered around Vision searching for his soul, with a title directly pulled from the comics. If we do get a Vision Quest show, if Vision does get his soul back, or instead fosters a new soul from new experiences and interactions, will Wanda take him back? Who knows where White Vision flew off after his memories were reawakened, but all signs point to him doing some soul searching. Ah yes, it was Agatha all along. Except for when it wasn't. The defeated magic-sucking witch Agatha Harkness has been reduced to the status of Wanda's one and only meat puppet. What does the future hold for Agatha now that she's under Scarlet Witch's spell? In the comics, Agatha is more of an ally and a mentor to the Scarlet Witch. She also, at one point, becomes the nanny to Reed and Sue Storm's children. Catherine Hahn's Agatha Harkness has become a fan favorite during the course of WandaVision, and it seems unlikely this is the last we'll see of her. Maybe she'll return in the Multiverse of Madness as a source of information, Wanda entering her sunken place to speak to the soul trapped within the noisy neighbor. Or maybe Agatha will pop up whenever we get that dang Fantastic Four movie. Whether it's Mentor or Nanny, let's hope it can be Agatha all along very soon. In typical MCU fashion, we left the series with many questions that surely will be answered in future movies and television shows. Overall, WandaVision proved to be a thoughtful experience that wasn't afraid to get weird. Seeing its nostalgic pastiche of our favorite television shows all fueling an allegory for grief made for some killer television. Let's hope that future MCU shows can be this risky and this thoughtful. Like this video? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and head to StoryScreenBeacon.com for podcasts, articles, and reviews on your favorite movies and TV shows. Until next time, I'm Robby Anderson, and try to stay out of New Jersey.